All right, so I usually don't do my videos this way. Typically what I do is I record them sequentially. I do my little intro, I record some games, and I do the outro. That being said, after recording some games and after already recording intro, I decided to do a different intro. So here I have a deck for you, but it is a deck that is built on hopes and dreams, and it is kind of a cool deck, but it does have some problems. This outing was kind of like a test or trial run with this deck, and in the end, I do see potential with this deck, but there are some critical problems. So what is the deck? I should talk about that before I get into things. It is a Doorkeeper Thrull deck. This deck is made with the intention of stopping the synthesizer decks that are running over the place. And when you run into a synthesizer deck with your Thrull, you win. That's it, okay? You win the game, and you'll see that in this video because we did run into a few opponents. However, I did not run into nearly as many opponents as I usually run into. In fact, this morning was basically Control and Landfall. That's all it was. It was Azorius or Jeskai Control and Landfall, and it was kind of a miserable morning because this deck does not do very well against them. So we're playing the Doorkeeper Thrull. What does the Doorkeeper Thrull do? It says artifacts and creatures entering don't cause abilities to trigger. Of course, we have to build around that consideration, and that means that we can't play a lot of cards that also have ETBs. So what did I decide to build the deck around? Well, I decided to build the deck around Gremlin Tamer. This card enters the battlefield, or on the battlefield, whenever an enchantment enters, you create a 1/1 red Gremlin token creature. This does not get stopped by Thrull because it is an enchantment trigger, not a creature or an artifact. And then I also thought, you know what, let's throw in some Cosmo Grand Zeniths because that's another way to go super wide. So with the Tamer and with the Zenith, the idea is that you can put out a bunch of cards and go wide. In practice, what happens is we've diluted the deck a little bit too much, and we've removed too many enchantments from the deck to actually be able to make good use of the Gremlin Tamer. The rest of the deck is cards that are supporting this idea. We have a couple of copies of Enduring Curiosity, which is going to draw us cards whenever our little creatures attack in. We have Voice of Victory because that's just a good card. It shuts down your opponent's actions on our turn and also gives us cards that are going to be pumpable by the Cosmo Grand Zenith and also getting card draw with the Enduring Curiosity. So a lot of synergy among the creatures in the deck. And then we're playing cards that allow us to pull off our game plan. We're playing Opt for a little bit of card draw, Protection in the Shard Mage's Rescue, Seam Rift for a little bit of removal, Authority of the Consuls, you know, enchantments or instant speed stuff that is going to allow us to get a nice spot in the game. But after playing the deck, well, there are some problems I have with it, and I think the main problem is leaning too much into the Gremlin Tamer. I think if I were to rebuild this deck or make some changes to the deck, I would actually end up cutting the Gremlin Tamer and probably going up a few more copies of Enduring Curiosity. I think I also want to go up a couple of copies of Voice of Victory, maybe cut the Fae Flight because we're not so heavy on enchantments anymore. We need more interaction in the form of Get Lost, so we'll bring in our Get Losts over here. We didn't need them in the sideboard. Sheltered by Ghosts kind of seems like a little bit of a liability. I like the fact that it gives life gain, but I'm not really sure about that. I think this can get cut, and maybe we do something a little bit closer to this. This is just a quick busting of the deck, and this is not the deck that you're going to be seeing in the games because I did play with the original deck, but I think this deck does have some potential. If you do end up watching the games, I implore you to do. I'm going to change the order a little bit of the games. I'm going to put the fun ones up front, and then you can see me slowly lose my mind to Control and all of that nasty stuff as the video kind of dies off. But if you have some ideas for this deck, I really like the idea of Doorkeeper Thrull. I want to use it in the format, so if there's some cards that I have overlooked, please do let me know about that. Anyways, I hope you enjoy the games. There's not going to be an outro for this video because, well, I don't think I need to. I'm kind of doing the outro in the intro now, and that's the way this video is going to be. So a little bit of a different style in this one, but it is a rogue deck that I threw together. It's kind of neat. Let me know what you think about it. Not a single synthesizer deck in sight. Isn't that the way it goes, right? When you have your game plan against something that you're seeing constantly on the ladder, and then you're like, oh, I'm gonna tech against it, and then amazingly it just disappears, and then you find nothing but hard control, which is definitely this deck's worst matchup. How exciting for us gamers. I'm going to take the point of damage from the starting town. It's not a big deal. This could be the artifact deck, though. They also play the Meticulous Archive now that they are running Starcage Pinnacle, which the Thrull. Oh, yes, we got it. We have our gamers. All right, we put that out. Why not? We attack in with our poor 2/2, and then we hold up the Thrull, hoping to see the instant concede. The one cute thing, in playtesting this, I did run into some synthesizer decks. The fun thing about this card is that people actually don't know what it does, so they continue playing it and like bringing out their creatures, and they're like, or not their creatures, they're artifacts, and their artifacts just like literally don't do anything. And you can see like the bewilderment, like they pause and it's like, what? Hold on. So United Battlefront, that's a cool card. Let's see what our opponent finds off the top of their deck with the top 7 cards of their deck. They get a Braided Net. Pretty cool. It does work against us. And now they're reading the Doorkeeper Thrull is what they're doing. And the opponent concedes. There it is. You know what? This game, it's out of order. This was actually the 4th game. I'm jumping this one up to the front of the queue. This is going to be the first game you guys see. And then we go into our regular games because that's what you want to see. Okay, next one. Okie dokie. Hitting a slew of landfall decks. Literally 3 landfall decks in a row. And the landfall deck just literally dumpstered my face every single time because that's what the landfall deck does. Apparently, we can't... it's an impossibility to find your removal spells when you're playing against landfall decks, apparently. So, it is what it is. We're getting rid of those ones from the video. This video, it's clear that this deck is built on hopes and dreams. And those hopes and dreams are not a solid foundation. We'll see what the opponent's up to. We're on Jeskai mana. So it's been that kind of morning. It's been like nothing but control and... Oh. Okay. Go get something. This might be another artifact deck. But it's been a control and a landfall morning. It's nothing but those cards. I have no idea what the opponent's playing. Market Gnome. Fine. We'll play that out. And am I brave enough to put out the Enduring Curiosity? No. I think what we're doing is we're gonna go a little bit slow. We're gonna take out the Tezzeret. Tezzeret? That's his name, right? And then see what the opponent does. I really feel like this Doorkeeper Thrull needs to be protected, so I want to hold up the Shard Mage's Rescue. Hope they play out stuff that allows me to get the Enduring Curiosity on the field. It's kind of like they're targeting... Oh. If I put out the Enduring Curiosity, then next turn I can Seam Rip and attack in for 2, draw 2. It's kind of a huge deal. So this has to go through. Okay. So let's Seam Rip the Market Gnome. When this creature dies, you gain 1 life, you draw a card. When this creature is exiled from the battlefield, you're activating... While you're activating... What does that say? While you're activating a craft ability, you gain 1 life, draw a card. Sure. So I guess if you craft with the Market Gnome, it gives you some benefits. That's kind of cool. I missed Craft. Craft was from Return to Ixalan or whatever it was called, and not a format that I played. Okay, we draw 2 very powerful cards. I think there's no reason not to play out the Voice of Victory here. That'll give us the opportunity to draw even more cards. Opponent, I'm very sorry. That card does not work. So yeah, conclusion on Doorkeeper Thrull. Pretty great card when you're against an artifact-based deck, but less powerful when you are not against an artifact-based deck. The opponent plays out their Shiko, which is pretty good. What is the opponent on? That's such a cool, interesting deck. Do I want the Authority? Okay, I'll keep the Authority. Let's do one more. Shard Mage I'm going to keep the Shard Mage as well, because my plan with the Shard Mage is to attack in with these ones, and I'm going to draw a whole bunch of cards, no matter what, at least 3. I have to keep back the Thrull, but we do want to get rid of the Shiko, so we will put the Shard Mages here. I could save the Enduring Curiosity, but I think it's fine to let it go into Enchantment land. Okie doke. Land. Another Shard Mage. Holy cow. Yeah, we'll put out this, and we'll go to end step. I'm a little bit afraid of a board wipe. It's possible that they could have something that will wipe us out, and they throw it in. So anytime you run into an opponent that's an artifact-based thing and you have your Thrull, you're having a good time. Okie dokie, so we are playing some Doorkeeper Thrull. The reason we're playing Doorkeeper Thrull is because I put up a poll. I can keep this. I put up a poll on my channel a few days ago. There were 3 different cards in it, the Doorkeeper Thrull being one of them, and that was the one that just narrowly won. The other 2 cards also had quite a few votes for them, so I am probably going to be making videos about those 2 cards because, well, they're very interesting cards to me, and why not? We need to hit a land, so unfortunately I cannot keep this Cosmogrand Zenith. We also probably need to find some... Okay. Probably also need to find a little bit of removal for our opponent who is doing landfall things. Very nasty. But yes, this card. It's a pretty sweet card. I really like the idea behind it, but I don't know if I'm maybe just being a little bit too hopeful that this card will in fact be effective. This doesn't matter. Okay, we can at least block the Chocobo with the Thrall to prevent 1 point of damage. It's a thing. So, play a little bit smart, I suppose. We hit another Thrall. Well, I think it's fine to put out the Cosmogrand and then kind of hope the opponent doesn't have like a crazy turn here where they have Golden Chocobo. What would be the worst case scenario here? I don't know. Maybe just land Hydra, and then we have a Hydra that we have to deal with. That seems pretty bad. If they don't have the Hydra, or if they don't have the Tifa, then the Cosmogrand Zenith can go pretty wide and keep the Chocobo under control. Then putting out the Forest first makes me think that they have a Hydra coming up, though. However, Hydra unprotected might give us the opportunity to smoke it. And they don't have the Golden Chocobo yet for the double triggers. That being said, they're playing definitely ways that they can get a lot of cards on the field very quickly. So we got to be careful. Oh, thank goodness. Okay, well, we're going to take this out immediately. And I think this is maybe a little hasty, but I'm going to do this now simply because I want to put out humans. And I think attacking in... I'm going to only attack in with the Thrall. I kind of want to keep the Cosmogrand back as a blocker. I think it's a 3/5. 3/5 is pretty good. It's not going to kill anything, but at 5 toughness, I can really keep this Chocobo locked down unless they hit really well on the map tokens that we just gave them from the Get Lost. That being said, Escape Tunnel is going to pump the Chocobo by possibly up to 4, so maybe I should have just took my lumps. Well, we have the 1/1s to block, but maybe I should have sent this in. Okay, oh my goodness gracious, they are going to have a massive Chocobo. Okay, they're going ham. And they hit another Mossborn Hydra, so things are looking pretty dicey for us. If I'm in their position, I might not even attack with the Chocobo now that I know I have the Mossborn Hydra on the top of my deck. They shuffle it away. Crazy. Okay. We're still in a dicey position. Now I'm really wishing I had attacked with the Cosmogrand Zenith. They go in only with the Bristly Bill, so they do hold back the Chocobo. I mean, would it be crazy to block all 3? I think it would be pretty crazy. Okay. I guess we just put the 1/1. That's what they were made for. And we hit a Sheltered by Ghost, which is pretty cool. A little unfortunate that I'm not hitting my lands, of course. Land would have been pretty sweet. But we hit that, and at this point, I guess we just go in with these two, hold back the 1/1 to stop Bristly Bill. That being said, I am gaining 4 life now. Maybe I could have taken a couple of Bristly Bill hits. Might have been fine. I really feel like they probably have a Hydra. You know, they shuffled away that Hydra, and they kept the Ordeal of Nylea back. Really makes you think that maybe they have a pretty good follow-up. 3 mana available to them. They could, in theory, fight the Cosmogran. Ooh. Okay. Okay, maybe we need to go into the air with the Cosmogran Zenith. We're putting a lot of cards on the Cosmogran, making it a little bit of a target. There's a land. Okay, so I guess it's probably just Fae Flight. Is it Fae Flight, or is it actually just attack in with the Doorkeeper and then save these for the following turn? I think I'm going to save them for the following turn. This doesn't give trample, does it? It says double the power. So the Bristly Bill getting big, not a big deal. I'll do this, attack in for a pitiful 1, and just try to survive. I'm really nervous against the landfall deck. The landfall deck obviously can suddenly pump out a couple thousand points of damage when they're doing crazy stuff with like their Harmonizer or Ice Till Explorer. I think that's what that card's called. So they have the Ordeal of Nylea. That's fine. I don't really care too much about that. They have a way of doubling, but they don't have trample. Do they have cards? Do the landfall decks play cards that enable trample nowadays? I don't know. I'm terrified. Maybe they think, oh, the opponent only has 2 creatures. Okay, well, they're going to get triggers. They're going to attack with both. Huh. I'm kind of in the position where I'm debating if I want to put out the Enduring Curiosity instead of the Fae Flight and Thrull. They only attack with 1? That's fun. Okay. Well, I maybe if you know what, if the opponent has a way of giving it trample and cracking the tunnel, then they wouldn't have got me. Yeah, they could have got me if it was like +3 trample and all that stuff. Okay, Curiosity. I'm fine with this. They definitely... I don't think they play instant speed fight spells. We don't draw necessarily well. And we don't want the starting town, so we'll put that into the bin with the Meticulous Archive. And I guess what we're doing is we're just attacking with the Thrull and drawing some cards. We're kind of living on the end, drawing a card. Living on the edge. The opponent has 2 lands, though, or 2 cards in hand. Not a big deal. They do have the Escape Tunnel, so I have to be aware of that. Target creature with power 2 or less can't be blocked this turn. The Authority of the Council's not so impactful, so we'll just pass and see what they do. Okay. I'm so glad that the Mightform Harmonizer is being played. I think this is just a really cool card, and at 4 mana, I don't know if the landfall deck really even needs this card because it's already doing so many powerful things. This just seems like a win more kind of card to me. All right, make them pay the 2, and we have, thankfully, the Fae Flight to come in to give hexproof to our Zenith. Okay, Bushwhack does not work. The opponent's making me nervous with these delays. Why are they delaying? Okay. So they decide to put in a land to pump up something. That's fine. Maybe they're trying to go for like a big swing with both creatures and hoping, oh, the opponent has to block with the Zenith and the Curiosity. That's where I want them to be. I want their mindset to be, let's swing with both the Bristly Bill and the Harmonizer. There it is, okay. So they double up. I mean, they're gonna, if they attack in with the Bristly Bill, the amount of power that they're generating is immense. Okay, there it is. Okay. We let this trigger. And we let them put their lands in. They're gonna go pump, 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 pump a couple of times. There. There. Lots of triggers. Always with the triggers with this landfall deck. Okay. And then we can throw in our Thrall. Why not? We make our 1/1s. Boom, boom, boom. We block. And we block. Kind of wish I could have got the Authority of the Consuls out now. But we need... you know what? Maybe I shouldn't have... How much damage do I have? Is that 11 damage on the crackback? I wasn't planning things. I should have put out the Authority. I was gonna say I should have put out the Authority so that I could have stopped any blocker from coming in. And then looking at the damage, if they had only 20 damage, I was at 22 life. I should not have put the other 1/1 out because I may have needed another attacker to get in to finish off the opponent being at such a low life total. A little lucky there, but wow, what a game right on the edge. All right, a cool little start for the Thralls. They did literally nothing against our opponent, but the deck still worked. Okay, keep going. I am going to be genuinely annoyed if I don't run into a single synthesizer deck while recording these videos. And well, I shouldn't run my mouth because I'm gonna say something like, it's such a good card. Yeah, I think I'm gonna try to keep it there. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say, oh, as soon as I do run into a synthesizer deck, I'm not going to find the Doorkeeper Thrull at all. The opponent doing the Tifa thing, and that's terrifying. So, Tifa. I think I'm going to put out the Zenith over the Authority. Just play, it's better for my mana usage, and then that gives us some extra options for the following turn. However, we might just be wombo combo dead, because they have a turn to Tifa, and we did not have any of our interaction for it. Authority not really going to do much. Hard-hitting questions! Holy cow. That's a blowout. So the opponent is getting revenge for the last game. We took out their friend, and now we are... We're dying. Okay, we can put out the Authority. This is real bad. I guess I attack in. If they decide to give me the bill, that would have been cool. We can create 1/1 gremlins, that's a thing, but what are we going to do against a Tifa and a Mossborn Hydra that both have trample? We die. If they attack... If they attacked there, we could have really gotten one over on them. Okay. So, no attack. We hold up our Curiosity and our Thrall. They have the Traveling Chocobo. If they have a land off the top, like especially an escape room or something, it would have been real bad. But I think this is probably just lethal, right? Hard-hitting question. We can actually prevent that, so that's some good news. We're not completely dead yet. But we're effectively dead. They attack in with their team. Why wouldn't you? Okay, let's put the Thrall onto the field. Let's put the 1/1 onto the Thrall. We're doing all we can here. We're gonna remove as many things from the field as possible. If I end up hitting a If I end up hitting a removal spell, I could have maybe gotten rid of the Mossborn Hydra and survived. But now it is... We're dead, right? You know what? Let's draw a bunch of cards. Let's do the fun thing. Just for the sake of doing it. Oh, man, if only I had like a 1-mana bounce spell if I were playing into the Floodmaw. There it is. Oh, too bad, too bad. Okay, sometimes you get hit. We're going to let the opponent do the cool thing. Sometimes you get hit by the landfall. Sometimes you get one over on the landfall. Hopefully this is not just a landfall day where all I'm running into is this nonsense. How big is it going to get up? 256? No, it's going to be more than that. No, 208. Okay. Yeah. Math. That's for the game to calculate, not me. Okay, good job, Stabotsford. Sure. Come on, synthesizer decks. Oh no, not a... Well, okay, Sephiroth, or yeah, the Sephiroth deck. Our Thrull kind of does a good job against that. Here's one of the problems. I think I need to look at the mana base just a little bit more. I'm running 10 planes currently, and 10 planes might just be a little bit too much for some of the blue cards. We're not playing a ton of blue cards in the deck, and originally when I built the deck, there were fewer blue cards. It was mostly a mono-white deck, pretty much splashing Gremlin Tamer. But now we've kind of gone a little bit heavier into the blue for No More Lies, a little bit of protection, and card draw with Opt, and card draw with the Enduring Curiosity. Not, is it? Yeah, Enduring Curiosity. So a little bit of a problem. Still, this hand looks fine. What are we keeping? They're a Yuna deck, maybe? That's what they're representing. Let's get rid of the Seam Rip and hold a very control-looking hand. Alright, opponent with the Meticulous Archive. So maybe they are not control. Okay, we'll put out the Authority of the Consuls. Now I'm doing that and thinking maybe I should have not put out the Authority of the Consuls. I should have just held it back for future turns, because I think you want to run this out when you are against mono red, but against the opponent being on Azorius control, I don't think it's really that useful to have it on the field, and it would be more useful to trigger a Cosmogrand Zenith on future turns. This is going to be just a bad matchup, I think, for us. I don't know how well we do against the control deck, especially when we're having a bit of a slow start. They get a free Opt. We can attack in with the Voice of Victory, but with the Authority of the Consuls on the field, it essentially negates a lot of what we're doing with the Voice of Victory. In fact, it gets rid of 2/3 of what we're doing with the Voice of Victory, because they gain 2 life, we do 2 damage with these. Like, it just, you know. We did 1 damage, and we got to see a couple of triggers. How exciting. That being said, if we have the Cosmogrand on the field, maybe that can be pushing through a little bit of extra damage with pump spells. I guess it's not the biggest problem. They have a Get Lost. Well, I may as well use my Shard Mage's Rescue, and now we're getting a little bit more. Ooh, they missed their land. How exciting. Now we're doing 2 points of damage a turn. What? How exciting. Maybe I'll get to a point where I use this Get Lost on the Authority of the Consuls. If they're struggling with lands this turn, I'm going to really consider it. They hit the 3rd Meticulous Archive, so... Pinnacle Starcage for the opponent. How cool you are. Okay, we'll get rid of it. No More Lies. I don't like using it, but I feel like I gotta protect this Voice of Victory. Yeah, I'm gonna smack it. It's very much a desperation play, but our cards are so piss poor. So I need to be getting this extra 2 points of damage in if I have any hope of finding a win here. I also have to hope that they have some kind of spot removal, not a board wipe. If they have Day of Judgment, I'll probably just move on to the next game because I don't want to waste too much time. Maybe they're just sitting on the fountain port, drawing a card. Okay. Well, If they try to get lost the Voice of Victory, we have the Fey Flight. We can be doing 5 points of damage next turn. They do not. What do I want to see? I want to see Enduring Curiosity off the top. That would be absolutely fantastic. It's always, I want to see Enduring Curiosity off the top. It's always that case. And that makes me think that I maybe need to go up to 3 copies of it, because it's just such a powerful effect. Okay, we hit a Seam Rip, which in this matchup is not great, to say the least. They have a Get Lost. Okay, well, I have to try to protect the Fey Flight. If they end up having their own No More Lies, they got us. There it is. Big old genius calling all the shots over here. And we hit Shard Mage Rescue. I'm not going to suffer through this. There's really no point. They're going to draw a ton of cards with the Fountain Port, and we're never going to get a board again. So move on from that one. Okay, so since I'm shuffling games around, I'm losing track of things. But for the interest of full transparency, I did decide to cut one game, because following the Jeskai, following the Azorius control deck, I immediately ran into Jeskai control, and it was the exact same story as the previous game. Lots of flooding on our side, and not a whole lot of interest, just the opponent doing removal.deck, and we couldn't really keep up with it. So, I don't know, nobody wants to watch that stuff, I think. So we will put out a poor Gremlin Tamer who's going to immediately get nuked, because this format is full of removal. Yeah, Duress into Shoot the Sheriff. We're having fun over here. Well, the good news is Enduring Curiosity is a fantastic card off the top, and again, saying we probably need to be playing more Enduring Curiosities in this deck. I think I am going to opt a Get Lost. Yeah, you know what? A Get Lost is just fantastic here. We'll get rid of the Preacher of the Schism, hold up our Curiosity, and yeah, that might give us a chance to get back into the game. Assuming they don't have anything too nasty. That's cool, but it's going to result in just 1 card drawn. Oh, wow, okay. I was going to say, I'm not sure if I want to shelter. Oh, that's a misplay. Ooh, maybe it wasn't a misplay now. Because I was going to shelter by Ghost to get rid of this, but now I'm thinking I just hit the Annex with the Get Lost. I think I'm fine with that. Hold up the Shard Mage's Rescue and the Opt. If they try to murder our kitty, we can get rid of it. Okay. Kind of okay with that. Super okay with this. They hit a Deep Cavern Bat. Less okay with a Deep Cavern Bat. Oh, thank gosh. Thank gosh. Okay, they do another map. They hit an Unholy Annex, and they leave that one on top. So let's opt into another Shard Mage's Rescue. I don't think I need 2 of those. Ooh. That's cool. Okay. So let's remove the Unstoppable Slasher, being stoppable. We hit them for 5, gain a little bit of life. We hold up the Shard Mage's Rescue. Let's draw something. Let's draw a Voice of Victory. No. I put out my land a little too hastily. That would have been a much better land to throw out. There was no reason to put the plains onto the field there. And they go with the Black Demon, which is a problem. Okay. Don't go to... ooh. Double problem for us over here now. Hit. We needed to hit a removal spell there. There's the Zenith, though. So that leaves us with some options. Next turn, they're going to try to hit our cat with the Sheriff. And I'm going to be Shard Maging. Yes, I'm gonna keep it. I think I like this. What we're going to do is not attack here. We're going to hold up the Shard Mage's Rescue, protect our Enduring Curiosity, and then put out a second Enduring Curiosity. Hope that they attack with the Demon. Okay, so we blank that. They're also in a position where they can't unlock the Unholy Annex side of this card. They drew their land for the turn, though, so that's okay. Attack. Be hasty. Okay. Put that out. Now, I guess here's the position. I don't know what to do now. Because the Cosmogrand Zenith wants another card to trigger, and I kind of... Yeah, maybe this wasn't the right card to hold. I don't know. Maybe I'm regretting it now. Do I just hold it in my hand with the idea of maybe putting it out later on? No, it's got to go onto the field now. We got to go a little bit wide. We have to make sure that we can get around the 7/7 demon. I really want to attack in with 1/1s as well. Blood Letter of Aclazotz. That's pretty good. So they now are draining us for almost lethal damage. If they attack with the demon, oh my. They could have, couldn't they? Okay, my turn. Give me something playable. Oh. Okay. Okay, what does this do? If I attack now, if I put out the Zenith and I attack with everything, I'm getting double pumps and I'm getting pretty big. I think we're attacking all out. Maybe not attacking with this Zenith, though, because if they put this Zenith in front of the demon, no, but then they maybe die. Okay, whatever. I don't know what I'm doing. This deck's got me all messed up. So they put it there. I cannot save my Enduring Curiosity, right? It'll only go up to 7 possibly. So what we want to do is probably put it on this. We are going to put +1/+1 counters on things, and we are going to create 1/1 humans. Did I miss lethal? Did I miss lethal? I wasn't thinking. I missed lethal. Oh, what a bonehead. Maybe that guy was right. The guy that said that there was just so many misplays. Okay. We'll put out the Authority of the Consuls, and now they are going to gain 4 life. They are going to gain 8 life. But we're not dead. We're not dead. Do they gain 8 life or do they gain 2 life? Actually, they just gain 2 life, right? Because it doesn't actually double. The Bloodletters don't trigger life gain. It only triggers damage on us. Oh, man. That game was so sketch. Whatever. It worked. Enduring Curiosity, pretty cool. I think that was the reason, you know, drawing 4 cards there was huge. I can't believe I missed that lethal. Maybe there are misplays. Against Yuya. Let's see what Yuya's on to. We have our Thrall and our Gremlin Tamer. And an Opt. Love seeing an Opt. And so, let's slow roll the Doorkeeper Thrull ever so slightly. We'll see what the opponent is up to. Oh, baby! You want to see? You know what card's beautiful to see? That card right there. All right, let's continue to slow roll the opponent. We're gonna lull them into, because you always want the surprise with the Thrull. You want to be the bad guy. If you're playing this type of deck with the expectation of trying to get one over on your opponent, you slow roll it, right? That's nice. Okay, we hit the Shard Mage's Rescue. That's pretty cool. I think what I'm going to do is go out with the Voice of Victory. That'll give them something to mull over. They'll have to maybe react now. Demolition Field, pretty cool. We do... Oh my god, the game's chugging a little bit. We do play a basic island in the deck, so if they do decide to get rid of our Meticulous Archive, we can go at least and get our mana for that. We will... So I'm not really convinced that they are playing an artifact deck. This usually says artifact deck. Okay, it's gotta be, right? Okay, we'll decline. We'll let them have our Voice of Victory. It's fine. I have to keep this Doorkeeper Thrull, I think. Play something. Iron Crag. Oh my god. That's not what I expected. Okay. And are they going to do something with 3 mana? They are not going to do something with 3 mana. Maybe I've completely misjudged what this opponent is actually playing. We are hitting our lands. So, I suppose I go out with a Gremlin Tamer, maybe try to draw out another counterspell, and see. Maybe this is like a big Ugin deck. They're ramping into nasty things. You see Iron Crag, you kind of think, okay, they're going to have Ugin. And this Doorkeeper Thrull losing stock very quickly against this opponent, I think. I was really excited when I saw the vault, but... Uh-oh. Nothing. Okay. Well, let's put out our Authority of the Consuls, get a little bit of Gremlin Tamer value. And we will attack in for 2. There's no reason not to attack. I think hold up the Shard Mage and the Thrall, and are they going to demolition something? They are not. They are going to do this. What did they throw away? They throw away Sleep Magic. I have no idea what our opponent is up to, but they're doing cool stuff. They have another Vault. Mazebind Tome, which... yeah, so the Thrall, although we're against an artifact deck, we are against something unique. I'm going to put out the Thrall at this point. I think I need another attacker. I can at least protect it with the rescue if that's the case, but I think I need to put a little bit of pressure on the opponent. I don't hate the Seam Rip here either. Let's grab the Mazebind Tome. This card is pretty powerful. It does allow them to draw and dig into their deck. The Iron Crag is good, but it is legendary. They might have another one in hand. So there's really no point in getting rid of this. I think they have enough mana that them ramping is not going to be such a big deal. But we'll get rid of the Mazebind. We'll create a Gremlin and pray that this ends up working out. Okay. Boom, boom, boom. So finally the Gremlins are coming onto the field. Again, a little bit sour on this card. It's not performing the way that I had imagined it. I think this deck might actually be a little bit of a different deck now that I am playing it and looking at it a little differently. It might just be a Azorius tempo deck with a Silver Bullet in it, which case we can get rid of the Gremlin Tamers. We can also get rid of some of the enchantments that we are playing. So enchanted creature loses all abilities and is a toy. Is that fine? Or do I want to protect it? You know what? Let's protect it. Let's create a few more gremlins. One more gremlin. They have 3 mana access? 2 mana? Oh, they bounce it. Cheeky. So what do I want to see? I want to see, not that. I wanted to see, of course, the best card in the deck, Enduring Curiosity. By far, honestly, now I'm kind of thinking I want it to be a 4 of in this deck. Man, what an impactful card that is in the deck, and playing just 2 copies of it is probably not enough. The opponent is terrified of this Gremlin Tamer, though. And now that they have their Eye of Ugin onto the field, I think Yuya probably has us dead to rights. They're healing more damage than, well, they're healing the exact damage that we're doing per turn. Probably it's going to be more damage very, very soon. Did a little snort there. Hope you didn't hear that. Give me something. Ah, the deck is just flopping. All right. GG, opponent. I think at this point, there's really no point in continuing on. I'm going to see what the opponent does. One more turn. They can do some fun stuff, and then we're going to throw in the towel and then go and talk a little bit about this deck. They gain back their life. Almost everything on the Ugin. I'm just curious what they're doing. This is a mono blue ramp Ugin deck. Do the cool thing. No, don't do the link. Do the cool thing. I want to know what you're building up towards. That's not what you're building up towards. Ugh. Well, now I can't concede. Okay. We'll try putting out the Cosmogrand. All right. All right. We're good. We're good with that. Okay. Good, 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 good. Oh, what a rough morning.